Yo, what up, fam? This your boy Sid, the RC guy. We're here at beautiful Copars Hobby Town, as we do so often. We're here with my good friend Tom. Tom, how we doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. So, we've had some people ask us to do a series on slot cars, and Tom is the slot car god here at Copar. This guy has one of the best tracks at his house, one of the awesomest tracks here, and he knows a lot of other really cool tracks. So I'm going to let him take it over. We're going to just talk about some basics for people that want to get into slot cars. So I'm going to pass it over to Tom, and hopefully he'll learn some new stuff, and we'll get some good racing going.
Well, if you're first getting into it, I guess you want to pick out something. It depends on if your kid's getting into it or if you want to get into it as an adult. If you're looking at kids probably 8 years or less, you might want to start off with the HO cars, which are the smallest scale, but they're very nicely done. They're price-wise anywhere from $20 to $40 for a car. They're very well done. They're fun to drive. Some of the more expensive ones, like the Mega G cars, can be very, very fast. And the nice thing about the sets that these cars come with is there's an adjustable power supply in there, so you can turn the power down while the kids are learning to drive. Slows them down a little bit, and they kind of get used to it, and you can crank it up, and the cars are just blinding fast. They're just a blur around the track, which is fun, and kids will love that. The next step up for maybe slightly older kids would be the 43rd scale, which are these. Carrera makes some really, really nice cars. A lot of kids like these sets because they have the loops, and they have bank curves, and they have up against the wall kind of curves in them too. They're kind of fun to drive. A little bit more driving skill for the bigger ones. That's how it is. The bigger the car, actually a little bit more driving skill it requires. For maybe some of the adults or some of the better driving kids, 32nd scale, which is probably the most popular scale around the country and in the world. What you want to look for is something that's a little bit easier to drive to start with, and the two best brands to start with, price-wise and driving-wise, are Scalextric and Carrera. Their cars are anywhere from $40 up to about $55. But they're really easy to drive. They're very well stuck down to the track with magnets. Plenty of sets available for anywhere from probably $160 up to $400 or $500 for digital sets, which means you can run 6 cars on 2 lanes. So if you don't have a lot of room, you got a lot of people that want to run, that's the way to do it. They're a little bit more expensive, but well worth it. The biggest scale they have is 24 scale. Now these cars are what ran on commercial tracks back in the 60s and 70s, and they still do today. Some of the cars are called wing cars. They're so fast you can barely see them, and I mean that literally. Carrera makes some gorgeous 24 scale cars. They're the only ones that make 24 scale cars that come with sets. Now there's off brands of 24 scale cars, but they can be a little bit pricey, but they are gorgeous cars, and they're really fun to drive and very collectible too. Their cars are around $75 for the Carrera cars. They're all digital, and but you still can run. You can run 4 of the 24 scale cars on a regular Carrera track. What else are we going to do?
So I heard you mention that they're also collectible, and I know you guys have got some upstairs that I've seen. Do they do some of the newer style stuff, kind of like with the back of the day? Because I've seen, so you can get some of the older ones that I've seen were like almost plastic models that go on top of that. Do they still do that?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can buy plastic model kits. In fact, a lot of the drag racers buy a lot of the whatever body they want, and then they'll build a chassis out of brass and get the axles and wheels and gears and everything else from whoever else. Unfortunately I don't carry a lot of 24 scale stuff here, but I do carry. Obviously, we do carry all the bodies and all the kits you can use to make the cars with. Now, Carrera cars are really nice. They're fun to drive. Their motors are rated at 18 volts, where almost everything else in 32nd scale is rated at 12 volts. So it's a little hard to find an upgraded motor for this thing. As far as upgrades for the 32nd scale, there's tons of. You've got motors rated anywhere from 40,000 RPMs, which is almost impossible to get up to speed on a track like we have here. They're all 18K motors that come with almost all the standard 32nd scale cars. Slotted cars, a little bit higher end, they come with a 21.5K motor. As far as I'm concerned, slotted cars are the best bang for the buck. They're about $70, but they've got all the goods. They've got aluminum wheels, they have aluminum gears, and they're just really fun to drive, and they're gorgeous cars too. Some are very collectible. If you look on eBay for some of these cars, some of the prices are right through the roof.
So I also understand that you can buy different tires, different wheels. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, I think this series is really going to open up a lot of doors, because even for me, I thought it was just you bought a car and you run it. And just talking to Tom, I've learned so much already. I know that they can do different tires, different wheels, and we're going to definitely get into more of the tuning. But, I mean, there just seems to be endless hop-up parts and options to make it look and customize it however you want.
There are, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of the cars, out of the box, they're plastic wheels. They're not all exactly round. They're not exactly on the axles perfect. Most of them are, but there are some that aren't. There are lots of upgraded. You can get aluminum wheels. They're set screw wheels. They screw on and they're very round. There's whole axle kits you can get to change the whole rear end: axles, gears, bushings, wheels, inserts for the wheels. And it really makes a difference in the way a car runs. The magnets tend to hide some of the flaws in the car. As soon as you take the magnets out on some of the box stock cars like Scalextric or any of them for that matter, they can be a little hoppy, just because the wheels aren't exactly, they're not square, but they're not exactly round either. This is the best way to fix it. In our club, most of the classes we run you can do this with, and as far as tires goes, there's tons of tire manufacturers out there that silicone tires, there's urethane tires. Depending on what surface you're running on, plastic surfaces, generally silicone is the best. If you're running on wood, urethane is much better. I carry both at the store, and it really makes a big difference. You probably gain, boy, with all that work on the car with a different motor, you can probably gain at least a second, maybe a second and a half lap times.
Nice. So I heard you mention that you have a club that you're part of. Tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, I'm in two clubs. Rocky Mountain Slot Car Club, which has been around since 2005. We run different. Tend to run, when we run a series, we run one vintage class, which is body styles on cars from '83 back, and we run modern series, which is pretty self-explanatory. The Vintage Club, Front Range Vintage Slot Car and Historical Racing Club, we run one true vintage class, which is slot cars made before 1968. They can be, well, obviously the only place you can get those is on eBay, and a lot of good prices on some of the older cars. Some of the better ones are pretty expensive because they're so collectible. And then we run other series with, they're all vintage style body styles on the cars, but we can run modern cars, like, you know, a modern Scalextric or slaughter car with a vintage style body on it. We don't run with magnets. So there is tuning involved, which includes, you know, motors, wheels, tires, axles, gears, almost everything, a little bit of weight. So they're both really fun clubs to run with. So.
Like you said, tuning. That's right. For anyone that's new to this, it still just blows my mind that there's. I seriously thought, you know, I'm very, you know, when I was a kid, Christmas, remember opening up that box and just throwing down and having fun. And he's just like, we can tune them and I'm just like, wow. So I'll make sure to put all the information for the two slot car clubs that he's part of at the end of the video. So if you guys want information, you can check it out. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button. Check us out on Coalpar's Hobby Town on Facebook page. There's two of them. Make sure to hit the like. And we are going to continue off this series and have some more fun. As always, thanks guys for tuning in. Catch you guys later.
Keep it in the slot.